And hello, everyone. Welcome back to some more collegiate Overwatch. A little bit of a caster change right now. Sir Waltham and Dryad here sitting in for our next matchup between Marist and Ryder. Dryad, why don't you talk to us a little bit about it?
I am so excited for this match because these are the teams that we know here in EGF, and we know them from last year, and these were really good teams as well. Marist was the team that everyone was talking about, but Ryder as well had some really good moments. So I'm excited to see this is a whole new season. This is a whole new EGF being brought to you, and I can't wait to see what the teams are going to bring. Maybe new players, maybe new coaches, maybe new captains. So many possibilities for them and to see who is going to end up at the top.
Yeah, of course, we will be starting off on Busan. A little bit of that control action, getting things started up. A nice warm-up map, I like to say. The control always feels a little bit more of that chaotic playstyle to get people really in the mindset of playing some Overwatch here at Dryad. But as we look ahead, getting ready for these teams to come out of spawn and get into the action.
Yeah, absolutely. Those control maps, I feel like we always talk about how interesting they can be. There's a lot of possibilities that can be brought in. I feel like control more than any other map can bring you that sort of specific map compositions that you don't really see that often in hybrid or in assault maps. They're more of kind of whatever the meta is at the moment. But for control, it's more of everyone knows what to play. This map though, very interesting. We see a lot of variety already. We see a Reinhardt and a Diva. On the other side, there's going to be the dive. I feel like a pure dive I haven't seen in so long.
Yeah, definitely excited to see it. As well, excited to see that May perhaps using those walls to get a little bit restrictive here, as both these teams going to be immediately meeting towards a big drum, but it's going to be Marist who takes that initial positioning here. That Rhine shield is going to be so big, allowing a lot of that damage to come through. Taze, however, not able to land too much. Does land a swing onto the Ana, though. That is a great start. A lot of healing gone. It's all going to be on the Nifty Bean to try to recover for the rest of their team. Cinnamons throwing themselves off is certainly not going to help things. But with that, it looks like Marist is going to make it a quick first.
Yeah, what even happened with this Winston? Got taken down immediately going to make
know.
this drop. There's going to be a couple changes in the composition as well. They are very indecisive. Okay, there you go. It's going to be the Diva and the Reinhardt. They're going to mirror almost the composition of the enemy team, who is also going to be playing very aggressive here, especially because they already have that control. Now they're looking to get those ultimates.
So far, looking very good for Marist as they take another really quick fight.
Another really quick fight here for this team that has been holding that defensive position. And on top of that, the ultimates that I talked about before, they definitely have them now to initiate. Amplification is going to be really good for them. They have those ultimates that are able to create so much space to the point where Ryder, they don't really know how to engage properly here.
Taze goes into the Earth Shatter, not able to find anything, but still the damage gets done. It's gonna be the Diva getting D-Mech, the Moira going down. The blade comes out from Soggy, but it's not gonna be enough. They just have enough swings to take out that immortality field, and then from then on, the rest of the pain gets brought by Marist.
I love seeing a good Genji, but this time around, it's so difficult. There's so many counters to this here and there. The Asagi's going to make the swap into the McCree. That is going to be a lot better for the rest of the team as well. The blade, I mean, they wanted to play for that blade, but didn't really get any value. Didn't even have the nano to go with it. Didn't have anything. So now McCree should be putting a little bit more pressure.
A lot of ultimates available for this now defending team. We see the Blizzard. We saw the self-destruct go out. Cloud on a little bit of a rip here, getting two with the help of Face Mists. Blizzard zoning out anybody who might be trying to get anywhere near that point. Just 10% left to go. The question is, can anybody touch? It's going to be a last-minute one if so.
And even then, even if they're able to touch, it doesn't indicate that they're going to win the fight. They're already a massive disadvantage here. They did get a couple kills at the end, but that's not really going to matter much. 100% going for Terramare is exactly like we expected. This was a team that everyone was so hyped about in last season of EGF. It was such a good team, so strong. And they want to prove that they are the same level, if not even more now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We expected Marist to come in with nothing but haymakers, the absolute damage coming through, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Not letting a single percentage up towards their opponents.
And I think the matter is all about the compositions. We saw the mistake of going Genji that didn't really get any value. Then we could see the Cowboy not able to get also Ultimately they wanted to end times, and now when we see a couple changes coming through again, it's going to be the Mei and the Sombra, and we always talk about it. This is all about that EMP.
Yeah, the question is, how quickly can Crazy Eights bring up that EMP? We saw the side of Ryder lagging a little bit to bring up those ultimates, and yes, was partially because of the swaps we saw halfway through that second fight, but still a factor to consider here. And with the tank going down, Ranger not going to be able to build up too much on their own. Just like that, Marist throwing down the damage. Cloud in such a dominant position here, even the Sombra doesn't seem to stop him.
There's so much confidence coming through for this player. 3 kills as well. This is all that they need. This is the best hit skin right now in Overwatch for a reason. We see it happening over and over again. Really good Mei wall, but immediately getting taken down. It also does suffer that death though.
Yeah, perhaps a bit too much of the aggression coming through from Cloud, going to be catching them out. And the Mei almost sectioning off that Reinhardt, not going to matter. Though the big Earth Shatter coming in once Taze realizes that Ranger not a threat to block anymore, and just like that, going to be swinging big, taking down the whole team. There's the gong, 6 members dead.
Everyone getting taken down, 30% already once again for this Marist. They don't want to give anything for Ryder, who have been playing and trying to play aggressive. They got 1 kill. There was a really good Mei wall, but immediately that was the communication that Marist was having. They were able to take him down and save their teammate for a little bit longer.
And now the amplification matrix is going to come through here. A lot of Mei walls just blocking all that damage that can be had. Marist still has advantage of that amplification matrix. If nothing, it's going to buy them a few seconds. Cloud taking a body shot from the icicle, not going to matter too much. The flashbang almost goes out, hits Ranger, but Sin Spin's quick to catch it. Just like this, maybe we see a push start to come through from a Ryder getting through this doorway. A nice Mei wall to split the field in half. Taze takes a nap, but nobody able to close on it. A lot of ultimates building up for Marist. They're going to start things off with an Earth Shatter. The self-destruct goes out, takes down 2. The ultimates just keep piling on.
It is 1 by 1, and it is such a difficult positioning as well for this Ryder, because they had the amplification for such a long time, but they can't really use it in that closed area. They need to create space. That's not really going to give them the space that they need. Ideally, they want to go right into point, because there's no other chance. It's already 90%, and the Blitzer is going to be available.
It looks like the response is coming through rather quickly from Marist. The Blizzard goes out, doesn't find too much. Taze able to almost pin out, but still gets frozen, taken down by the self-destruct, and then Face Miss quickly follows with a death from the remech. Just like this, it looks like Ryder might start to get some percentage on the board. They have to stay towards the point, though. Cloud with a final headshot onto the Mei. That is unfortunate if you're on the side of Ryder.
Oh, but does get taken down, though. So a big opportunity here once again for the retake to happen really, really quickly. It's just going to be the full regroup, though, because Traders just got taken down. All team members, they have the amplification now. They also have the space enough to push and use the amplification effectively. And on top of that, they can use the sound barrier in an aggressive way before any other ultimates, especially that EMP comes in.
Yeah, keep eyes out for that EMP and sound barrier to constantly be dancing around one another. That EMP, of course, can strip all the benefit you get from sound barrier. Crazy, it's certainly going to be looking for that. A lot of ultimates otherwise still in effect. A nice hack onto Taze, no shield available. The flashbang takes Crazy Eights down. They have to back out, and because of that, things are looking to be wide open here, especially for Thunder Kid. He doesn't even need the sound barrier to make a play in this game. Going to be getting 2 kills off the back end.
Where's the EMP, though? This is the last chance, but it might be too late. They don't even get to use it.
It's going to be the high noon just to lock everything out. It's going to be Cloud waiting patiently enough for the team to destroy that immortality field. Self-destruct just to clean things up. The remech once again, the second remech kill we've seen today. And Cloud putting on a little bit of a clinic here with these headshots coming through.
All the headshots, all the kills coming through for this player has been doing so well so far. And this is only the first map, so we can expect a lot more for this player in the maps to come. Really high expectations that I have for Marist College, and they are not disappointing so far.
Yeah, absolutely an excellent performance here. Some big earth shatters that came through. A lot of good ultimate usage, but more importantly, perhaps, it just felt like Marist was the team that was a little bit more practiced, a little bit more ready with the composition they wanted to play. They came out with that Mei, and they absolutely performed on both maps we saw them on.
And okay, that was the control map, and that was so strong. There was only one fight that they lost to the hands of Ryder, but they were able to come back in, use those ultimates. And I feel like more than more than anything else, I feel like there were so many mistakes happening from Ryder on what ultimates to use and when. Like I said, they were holding that amplification for a little too long to the point where you just have to use it. It's one of these ultimates that you can build really fast, so you need to keep rotating it, try to use it, try to at least create space if you're not going to get the kills. And on top of that, the biggest win condition that they had was that EMP, but they weren't even able to use it. And by the time that they were about to, all the team members got taken down. And EMP, like we always talk about, that is an ultimate that you need the rest of your team for to get any value out of it. Just using the EMP alone is not going to do anything.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we saw that Sombra be so hesitant to use it in the back end of that fight. Things were already looking chaotic, a little bit haphazard enough for their team. They didn't want to use an EMP, drop the ball, not have that resource a little bit later in the fight. So you understand the conservation there, especially when that Lucio's holding the sound barrier that can really make the difference. But again, if you don't use it, it basically doesn't matter. But as we look ahead,
Yeah.
Dryad, we do know that Eichenwald is going to be our next map. Marist, once again, looking to just continue to cruise along, win this with relative ease. And I'm sure Ryder's going to want to put a stop to that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, of course they want to stop it, but the question is how. It seems like besides the ultimate mistakes that we saw happening from them, it's gotta be a little bit more. It's gotta be maybe a composition that might work a little bit better for them, especially here in Iconwall. There's a lot of different possibilities. Of course, we mostly see the Reinhardt coming through, but it's such an open map, especially in that second part. They can bring something else to the table. You can even bring a diva, you can bring a dive to try to take control of that bridge, take control of the high ground and make a difference. But then again, this is so dependent on each team that I don't mind whatever riders are going to bring to us as long as it's a composition that makes sense for everyone to be able to run it at very high level to ideally just get a 1-1 against Marist.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's, at least if last season is anything to indicate, that one map over Marist is certainly going to be a benchmark for which teams are, maybe good or maybe a little bit greater than good. Either way, Ryder certainly has the opportunity here, Dryad. You mentioned that they only won one or two of those team fights last time, but on these more objective focused maps, sometimes one or two is all it takes to get a point, right? Sometimes you can cap point A or get the cart through Street's face with just one fight. That's certainly what they're going to be looking for here and hoping that good luck carries them a little bit.
Especially because we're going to be seeing Marist starting on the defense here. So it's a little bit of the same. There's a lot of different possibilities. There's a lot of chances for riders to be able to go and to play aggressive and to try to take control as soon as possible. But if something doesn't work, like we saw in that Genji on the last map, it's going to be an immediate change. It's going to be a change in composition if necessary and going again until they find something that works. We already see a little bit of the composition coming through for the defense. It is expected, but I'm curious to see how Marist is able to run this composition because honestly, it's very difficult. Everyone is working independently. And I feel like maybe the Zenyatta is the one that is the most dependent on everyone else, but you're going to have the Sigma just putting that pressure, having that extra shield. The Echo is going to be in the air, is also going to create the pressure from another angle, and it is the same case for everyone that you see. So running the composition is very difficult, but I think if there's anyone that can run it, it's gonna be Marist.
I feel pretty confident in Marist's ability to run this as well. That Zenyatta adds a little bit of that extra punch if Cloud's able to get behind somebody with a little bit more backstab damage. Those pulse pistols are going to be very aggressive here. We already see Ranger trying to poke away, chip a little bit of health off the tanks, perhaps build themselves up. Soggy going to be taken to the skies, trying to get some rocket blast damage in. That ultimate can build up rather quickly, but not likely against this Marist college team, considering how just sparse their teams are located. And the Mercy goes for the res, but not going to be able to get it. Nifty being taken down, Cloud not letting anybody rest for this team. And Taste still being a little bit of a pest on this Wrecking Ball. Nobody from the side of Ryder is able to just get a grip right now.
Cloud proving that they're not only able to play the cowboy, but also the strays are such a high level. They are getting the kills. They're allowing also their Echo to get a couple kills as well. And there's a lot of team effort that is working out so far. Trying to build those ultimates, which like we talked about, with this composition might be difficult because you're depending more on yourself and your ability to get the kills, but should be coming at least earlier than the enemy team.
We will see as Marist once again lines up. They're going to hold pretty much the same defensive stance. The only difference is that Cloud will have the opportunity to get an early kill. I was going to say with the Pulse Bomb, but doesn't even need it. Apparently with that Zenyatta, with the Mercy, helping them out. Again, that Zenyatta having so much damage impact that can really just be applied here. And right now we're seeing Ryder get held at this choke point, or really at this entryway, not even a choke. And it seems like they're really struggling just to get ahead.
Yeah, Cloud is putting so much pressure, and also when you have the Echo, even when you can talk about the fight between the Echo and the Pharah, it is the Echo who's going on top. But as I say that though, it is the Sienna getting taken down, the rest going to be there immediately.
The rest does force that Mercy away for at least a moment. Cloud goes down at the cost of Ranger's life. And now with this, it looked like it may have been an opportunity for the attacking team, but they're losing too many members too quickly. And yes, you do have Cloud who has to come back, but that's a Tracer who has to make their way back, and that's not going to be a long trip.
The biggest indication of a good team is when they lose a member, but they're able to recover, and they're able to win the fight, even when they don't have the numbers advantage. And that is exactly what Marist College is doing. They have so many ultimates as well for the next couple of fights. Even if a couple of them got taken down, the Zenyatta and the Tracer is able to give back on the fight really, really fast. And they have the minefields to create a little bit of space. And might be coming soon as well.
Yeah, this is exactly what you like to see at your Taze. You're going to drop the mine. You're not going to drop the minefields. You're going to hold on to it. You feel that the Gravitic Flux is going to be enough. Faceless gets taken down, but still more damage being done by the defenders than the attackers. 3 members down, though, however, might be a little bit of a slow run back, at least for that Sigma.
They might not even need the ultimates. It seems like he was about to use the minefield, but they realized it wasn't necessary. The ransom once again very risky, coming through, able to get it on the far, who tries to put pressure, but it's never enough to get the kill. I feel like we've only seen a single kill for this player.
Yeah, Soggy certainly seeming to struggle just a little bit, or at least seeming to lose these duels between FaceMisk. And FaceMisk going to be taking the duplicate of the Reinhardt, going to be having the Earth Shadow in pocket. Hits it through the rubble, able to land the damage down, and High Noon going in from Ranger on that high ground. Not going to be finding anything, instead just going to wander into a mine.
One of the things that I mentioned is that you need to be able to change the composition if something's not working out. There were a lot of opportunities here for Ryder, but it's down to a single fight, one last fight territory to guarantee if they're able to at least start moving that payload. They don't have a lot of ultimates to work with. Maybe the coalescence, but that's not really going to do much.
Oh, it's definitely not going to do much if Twitchy gets taken down right out of the bat. That's going to be so painful. Grizzly has the opportunity for a grab, but it's already far too late. You've lost both your supports. Your Zarya's already bleeding out, and just like that, nobody can touch point. The quick cleanup from Marist, such a lost opportunity there.
Marist is so good. I mean, we saw it on the last map. It was the indication, but now we definitely have a guarantee in this first half of Eichenwald. It was so much pressure, so many kills. Even when a couple of them got taken down, it didn't really affect them too much. They were able to either connect their rest or be able to get back into the fight, especially because the losses that they suffered were massive. The tanks never got taken down. The Tracer sure got taken down, but she was able to come back in the fight really quickly, as Tracer does. And then the Zenyatta got rest, so a lot of opportunities for Marist to keep being active in the fight, continue getting those kills to the point where Ryder, they run out of time. They didn't change the composition like I wanted to see. And now they're in such a difficult situation to hold, and I mean, perfectly.
Yeah, this is, no matter how you look at it, it's unfortunately a no-win situation for Ryder. They can still force out that draw. They can still make it a no point for either side situation, but it's going to be tough. Soggy coming onto this Torbjorn makes a little bit of sense, though.
Yeah, it's gotta be at least a short counter Tracer, but we already saw that Cloud is able to play at least a couple heroes, and even if the Tracer doesn't work out, the Echo is able to maybe take down this turret, and the Tracer is able to get a kill or to get the pulse bomb, and that is going to be it for this team.
Yeah, you're not going to have much except for that Ana played by Twitchy to really deal with that Echo. There's not a lot of hit scan that can take that threat out of the sky. Just like this, we're seeing Marist not being too aggressive. They're paying a little bit of respect. They're leading in with Andrew, using that kinetic grasp, opening things up by taking down that turret, and then perhaps waiting for the push. A good opportunity here, but not if Soggy with that turret back down. Almost a full clip onto Twitchy, takes them down. Gonna do cleanup onto Soggy, and this might have already been the end here for the side of Ryder. It's going to be the Ana taken down. The turret continues to just peck away at Cloud, but Cloud doesn't seem too bothered. Eventually, will be taken down by a shot of Rebar, but Marist still sticking into this fight, has the Sigma, had the Mercy, but now Mercy has fallen. Andrew, looks like they might have tried to fight a little bit too long on this point. Not going to live it out.
Finally, at the end, the turret got taken down. It seems like it was very difficult, especially because of the positioning of where it was and where the Scorpion was as well. But so far, the defense holding strong does have the Valkyrie to initiate the fight, though, and that is going to be massive for them to keep holding. They need to use it before the enemy team does, though.
Oh, and it's going to be a rough start for the attacking Marist as they lose a Thunder Kick early on. Luckily, you have that Mercy to just Guardian Angel back. Somebody waiting near spawn will get them head right away. Cloud, so dangerously close to that pulse bomb, though.
The pulse bomb can connect, and that can be the opening that this team is waiting for. There's a lot of ultimates, there's a lot of possibilities, but being able to build this pulse bomb and use it effectively, that is exactly what you need, and that is what they're going to do. And on top of that, it gets the Ana out of anyone else.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates going to be committed here by the attacking side. Oh, I'm going to be using that Transcendence Thunder Kit, following up with a Valkyrie just to keep everybody on line. Diva Bomb goes out. Since not able to find anything, and worse off, loses their life for it. The Mercy caught in a small hallway with the Gravitic Flux. You're going to lose half your health. You're going to be focused down by the Tracer, and then you're going to lose the point. Marist taking their second map in a row.
It was all about the ultimates that really made a difference. The opening, like we talked about, Cloud is exactly what we said, is that the pulse bomb getting the kill and opening the fight for everyone else who were about to get those ultimates. And that at that point, the number advantage was not really benefiting the side of Ryder. And in a very fast and effective manner, we see Marist taking the point.
Yeah, an excellent performance once again by Marist. Ryder were able to hold on the defense for at least a little bit. We've seen teams who have not had as much success against Marist, so you have to give them at least a little bit of concession there. But Ryder, I mean, to say that they still have quite a bit of work ahead of them is an understatement.
It's just so difficult against this team. I feel like Ryder has a good idea, has the specific composition that they like to play. We saw them trying to run and even trying to counter the enemy, but at this point, it's just Marist being levels ahead. Now, not over. They still have a possibility here, but the chances are not that big for the side of Ryder.
They are not, but hopefully, as we look towards our third map, we'll see a change. But folks, we're going to take a real quick break. We will be back in the blink of an eye, though, so stay tuned. We'll be back with Marist versus Ryder. Hello, folks, and welcome back. We are in with Marist versus Ryder, and things have looked a little bit one-sided with Marist leading the charge 2-0 against their opponents in Ryder. But two things change up in Hanamura. We're about to find out.
It might be, but here's the thing. Marist, you're starting on the defense, and that is a very difficult defense to deal with.
Yeah, it's perhaps not the most friendly. We will see exactly how they intend to cope with that, as we are going to see the rosters unlocked here in just a second. We're going to be hopping into it. And Dryad, already, I'm seeing a little bit of the long range coming through. It might be a tease from the attackers, but Soggy and Ranger, Ashe and Widowmaker.
But will they? I mean, I feel like I haven't seen those hit skins being played in so long. I feel like all of last year we saw a lot of those hit skins being effective, and then they kind of completely changed. Now it's more about maybe the cowboy, maybe the tracer that we always see. But not as much of the Widowmaker, the Ashe that are really, exciting when we see those kills coming through. So hopefully they keep it. Seems like they might. And also Roadhog. I don't know about that one though.
Well, we'll just have to see some big hooks coming in from a Sense Vince, but if we're seeing the double hit scan, a good opportunity for Face Misk to get taken out early on in this game. They'll have to be very careful. Emerald trying to rain in a couple of shots early, not able to land too much. Soggy going up high, not able to connect the Diva Matrix. Covering the defensive side, Andrew going to be protecting their team there in that capacity. And right now, Soggy again just trying to find these opening kills, not really able to do too much. That Ashe as well means that this team's not going to be necessarily too power loaded in towards that choke fight. It's going to be about which side can get those opening kills outside of the immediate choke. As we look here, it's so far not working out in either direction, but Marist still buying quite a bit of time off this clock. Even if you're not winning the kill battle, you might be winning the clock battle, and you're going to be happy with that for the time being, Dryad.
The entire composition that we see here is all about getting a single pick. The Widow, the Ashe, even the Roadhog, they want to get an initial pick to go in, but so far they haven't really been the luckiest they could have been, especially because they're going against Marist though. As I say that, the Fire are getting taken down.
Of all the players to get a pick, it's going to be the Zenyatta Twitchy coming in, but then immediately following up with the death of their own Dragons. Now going to be up for Emerald. We're going to send it down that tight choke. It's going to make it so hard and easy to split the teams. As a matter of fact, they have to be careful now. Reinhardt pushing up ahead of them. Gallantry might be looking to take advantage of some of those misplaced DPS, but Emerald just going to be focused on Soggy winning their 1v1s. And right now, Ryder are making some progress, but it's taking a lot of time with that Orisa going down. Andrew not able to respond in time. Since Vince has that damage, the anti-nade coming through, almost throws the Hanzo off the map. Not sure if it quite connected. No, it didn't. Emerald able to get back just in time. Not able to take down that Reinhardt, however, and we're seeing some real resilience coming out of Marist despite giving up a lot of space.
That was so close and also so unfortunate for this team of Ryder. They were able to push in, they were able to get the initial kills, and even a really good anti-nade that was able to connect, but none of that really mattered as there's a lot of control for this side of Marist. They have the next ultimate for the next maybe 4 rounds that we might be seeing of this fights happening. The Barrage, the strongest one to get the kills with the Supercharger. That is an ultimate that is able to also create so much space, so much damage that is going to allow the rest of the team to keep control of this point.
I really have to kind of question the effectiveness of this Hanzo pick on the attack. Has not seemed to work out for them just yet. Face Misk might be fishing around for a little bit of the Rocket Barrage. Going to be going in potentially from on top. Just has it as a constant threat. Soggy, although I start to doubt, immediately gets 2 kills off the back and gets a 3rd from the Rocket Barrage. Is going to be the self-destruct that eventually seals the deal for that Hanzo. Bob now going to be barreling towards point or slightly off center of point, allowing those tanks to take a little bit of damage before eventually having to push back onto there. The Bob crucially going to be pressuring down that Ana, making it harder for Marist's tanks to receive healing. However, the nano boost is going to be meaning that they don't need to receive as much healing. Andrew going to be diving in there, tearing up the Mercy, tearing up the Ashe, and just like that, another good push mitigated by Marist.
Really good Supercharger, really good Orisa that we're seeing as well from the side of Marist. I feel like this is one of my least favorite compositions with the Orisa and the Diva. I feel like the tanks by themselves, you don't have a lot of synergy, but they're able to make this work out so well to continue allowing the team for success, to continue allowing the DPS to get those kills. That is exactly what they're going to do for the next 20 seconds.
20 seconds are all that remains, and Emerald has this dragon. It's going to make it hard for anybody to push through. The Roadhog gets separated. Twitchy dives right into the dragons, unable to stop their momentum from that Lucio wall ride. And just like that, Emerald has already set a great pace for their team to be victorious here. Ryder has that Sombra trying to make her way to point, uses the translocator, uncloaks, almost gets the hack onto face miss, but too much damage being directed in the way of that DPS. And just like this, Marist looking good at sealing everything up. One last member remains standing over time. Now slowly going to tick down this Wrecking Ball. Going to try to make it the point. Almost body blocked off, but eventually the damage will follow either way. And Constant Blast's not going to be allowing anything. And Thunderkit even getting in on the action with that Caduceus Blast for kill.
A couple more kills, and not even 33% the Rider is able to get away with on this first round, and one more to go. It is essentially the same scenario that we saw in Iconwall. Only 33% is going to be enough for the Marist to take this map, and that is not very difficult for them to make happen. We've seen the many different compositions that they're able to play, and the aggression that they like to play. So a lot of confidence the Marist is able to get this pretty much right away.
Yeah, so far an excellent performance by Marist. They're going to have to pretty much just keep it locked for the next couple of fights if they're able to get that 1/3 tick, if they're able to get any openings onto this defense from Ryder. Things are going to be looking very good for them. And if Ryder's composition is anything to talk about, Soggy coming out on that Bastion means that they may be a little bit wavery here.
And that's never a good indication. I would say that's always when you start to worry if your team decides to go Bastion, is because you know you're going to have a difficult task against the enemy team.
Yeah, certainly not going to be looking great for Ryder. It's once again that situation where they can't come out with any points of their own. It's just going to be them trying to prevent Marist from getting one. But the question remains, will they be able to make that happen? We'll see as these gates are going to open up. Emerald coming out on the Widowmaker might be looking for those instant one-shots. However, they have to be pretty aggressive from Ryder to get one this far out onto the map. Gonna be seeing Twitchy throw out that anti-nade, so trying to get some early damage in the initial. Not gonna quite be finding it. And just like that, Vocal gonna be seeing the Symmetra balls as well as the teleporter, meaning they're gonna know exactly where that threat is. It's gonna be a DPS for DPS trade here, and Marist already putting pressure on the point with that Wrecking Ball. Tay gonna be just going in there, trying to create some pressure, force some rotations out from this defending team, but so far, not gonna be finding too much of it. Marist gonna be having to retreat for a moment, especially with Andrew going down.
It's a lot of pressure here. It's a lot about getting that kill, but the minute that you know that the enemy team is going to run Bastion, that's when you know exactly how to counter it. It can be with the barrage, but it can also be with a little bit of a dive coming through. And I mean, I like that Marist, they know exactly what to do. It's the Wrecking Ball and the D.Va trying to dive the Bastion, trying to take it down as soon as possible.
That Bastion just posted up on high, making it difficult for anybody to get any of that spare chip damage towards Soggy. Soggy does have that tank configuration on the line. He's going to be shooting that far right out of the sky. An excellent shot by Soggy, however, getting focused down by D.Va. Has to drop down Nifty Bean, healing them up as much as possible. They have that self-repair on line, eventually retreating back into the safety of their cubby, but they've given up a little bit of that point pressure because of that. That Tracer going to be drilling into the back of Soggy. Again, just diverting the attention of this Bastion might prove to be the most crucial point. Tracer eventually going to be dancing around this Bastion. Soggy having used a little bit of self-repair and then going to be losing the health kit battle. Just like this, a lot of time being avoided by this Tracer, by Emerald, just here trying to dance on the Bastion. Soggy eventually gets the better of them, but in the meantime, the rest of Marist has gotten on the point. They've already taken that positioning. And now this might start to turn the tides of them. The Arista Shield drops down, but everybody from Marist just pushes through. It's going to be the Rocket Barrage coming in, saving everything for this potential push. Eventually, Face Mist is able to clean up that sim. The final tick is given, and Marist comes up with a 3-0.
3-0 for Marist College. Exactly like the expectations were for this team, especially if you were following them last season. They're so strong, every single player, their composition, and more than anything, their synergies. One of my favorite things to see. I mean, it just, how?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we're expecting Marist to be, once again, a very high-performing team. A tough opponent for Ryder to have to come up against in the initial. Always
Yeah.
a rough start when you have to fight one of the top seeds within, any given tourney.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, being able to learn what they like to play and being able to learn what they might be playing in the future is really good. That's how a lot of teams start to prepare right when the season starts. It's figuring out their biggest enemy that they're going to have throughout the season and figuring out how to counter them more effectively, or maybe even figure out what they do not like to play. So, the worst loss, again, beginning of the season, anything can happen. A lot of possibilities for Ryder as well to get a lot more wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's kind of the other side of the coin, right? You fight the hardest team, it's out of the way. You know that the rest might be a
Yeah.
little bit easier. You can start building that momentum up again instead of having it break mid-season. But folks, that is going to be Marist coming up with a clean 3-0 over their opponents in Rider University. We will be taking a quick break and then hopping into the interview booth. So folks, stick around. We'll be right back in a moment. Hello, folks. We are back, and we are here in the interview booth. We're sitting down with Taze from Marist. So, Taze, hello, welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Hello.
So, we're here back in EGF after who knows how long. I'm sure there's somebody who knows, but I'm bad at math. But
Too
let
long.
me. It's been a while, and that's where I want to go with this. What has your team been doing? What has Marist been doing to kind of keep themselves fresh, keep themselves not feeling the ring rust so much in this break duration?
Well, during the summer, we tried to do a scrim per week just to get the guys together. We tried to also play like a little bit of comp throughout each week. But as the summer, people have jobs and things they have to do, so it was harder to get people together. Um, but we tried to make sure that the 6 people that were coming over from last year were still able to have that communication, having that synergy that we had last year.
Okay.
And you guys have, I feel like, a lot of pressure to perform. I mean, last season it was really good, but now, how do you feel about going against other teams? Do you think there's someone who's coming up, who's maybe like an up and coming rival that you guys might have, or are you just confident that you're able to run such a good season as last one?
Yeah, anything involving Mac, we feel super confident on. We haven't seen anything that yet that is concerning to us. Um, the other teams in the other conferences are very. Those teams look so good, and we're excited to play them.
Okay, that's good. And so, in terms of that as well, so um, did you guys? So one question before this. So did you guys lose any of your players from? Did anyone graduate that you don't have anymore for this season?
Yeah, last year we lost our captain, Harmonix. He
Oh
was
yeah.
a flex TPS. He played the Sim, Sombra, May, any annoying character that you hate to see. And then we lost a few. We lost Doorknob due to personal reasons. He's not able to play this year. So yeah, that the team from last year is pretty intact.
Yes. And then how does that happen for you guys? How's the like going through those changes of maybe you're not going to have your captain and someone else taking that role and having new players maybe come in, is there any difference, or everyone is able to click the same as always?
Obviously, there's always growing periods. We're lucky enough to be, as a esports organization. This is our 4th year, and I'm our 3rd captain. Um, I also got the luxury of almost like testing it out because my sophomore year, Harmonix went abroad, and me and Emerald were co-captains during that semester. So I feel comfortable, and the team as a whole is very. We work well together, so no matter who's in charge technically, everybody has their say, everybody has their input.
Well, fantastic. You love hearing it. Taze, once again, thank you very much for coming in here, answering a few of our questions, hanging out with us a little
Of
bit
course.
after the match. But before we let you go, I always like to give the opportunity for any shout outs you feel, your team, their team, your family, whoever. I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, obviously, we always enjoy playing whoever we can get the opportunity to play. So GG's. I want to thank, obviously, my family and friends who are always there supporting me. I'd like to thank the school as well for giving us the opportunity to be able to play in these matches.
Well, fantastic. Once again, thank you, Taze, for joining us. And if you haven't heard it enough in this interview, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And with that, Dryad, I do believe we are about ready to wrap things up for this matchup between Marist and Ryder. However, folks, we are not quite done with our broadcast day yet. We got 2 more exciting games coming at you. So stick around. We'll be right back after the break.